So I was scrolling through the gram, the IG, and just scrolling through, kind of present, not really, just scrolling through, and I saw this ad for a t-shirt, black and white, cool, I like basic colors, kept scrolling, saw it again, probably a few days went by, I saw the same shirt over and over, I finally read it, and I was like, oh, lifting weights, oh cool, oh, you're, well, hot wife, oh, that's kind of me, I like that, my wife's hot, I love lifting weights, maybe that's a t-shirt I wear anyway, keep scrolling, I see it again. Oh, lifting weights, hot wife. Yeah, that's me. Cool. That's interesting. Then I see it again, and finally, I just bought the shirt. Right? I was like, because I like lifting weights. I love my wife. I think she's beautiful, and so that's kind of me. I'll wear that shirt. Bought it. Forgot about it. Shows up in the mail. I don't know, a week or two later. I open the bag and I look at it and I read it this time. Like really read it, and I think to myself, I would never wear that. Here it is. I lift because my wife is hot. Essentially what it's saying is, in case it's not obvious to you, like it wasn't to me the first time, for some reason, I'll say it in a minute. I lift weights because my wife's really beautiful and I'm not confident she'll stay with me unless I have big muscles, which is the furthest thing from real for me. I don't think that way. And the fact that I bought that is interesting. And that's what I want to talk about in this video is my relationship to the realization that I bought the shirt. Before I say that and get to that, I'll talk about why I bought it, how I bought it, and upon reflection. So scrolling through the gram, not really present. What I think is so interesting, and where I initially wanted to make this video from, which is why I've kept the shirt and I've had it sitting on my desk, is how the algorithms out there that have been listening to me through my Alexa device and through my Siri and Google, and they're just, and all my clicks and stuff that I type, they're reading and devouring, and they're figuring out the keywords, the words of the things that have value and meaning to me. And so then they take that information and they construct an advertisement that takes like, oh, you like lifting weights? Oh, you talk about your wife? Oh, you think things are beautiful or your wife is beautiful? Great, let's just build a shirt that has those words in it and sell it to you, right? Essentially, that's what's happening. And so there's that content that's like, that activates specific neurology in my mind that's connected to certain feelings is put into my view where I'm not really present and conscious. And so every time I scroll by and see that, those things light up like a Christmas tree, ding, ding, and I get a little feeling. Without the deeper understanding of how these things relate to each other, just these isolated ideas are activating my neurology and creating motivation in a way, which is why when I wasn't really present and not paying attention, it gave me a thought and a feeling that I wasn't really contemplating the real meaning of, and I just was motivated to take action and buy it. And I think that's so interesting that the computer, the artificial intelligence, is learning our brain and is able to actually manipulate us. As an aside point, for a long time I was very open, very much of the opinion that who cares about my privacy, I have nothing to hide, right? So it's like they can know whatever they want to know about me, I have nothing to hide. But it's not until recently that I started to realize that the reason to not have people have all the data that understands my neurology is because then they can control and manipulate me very easily, as we've shown with me buying this shirt. I'm not saying I'm all in yet with this, like being afraid of the algorithm understanding me and seeing me and manipulating me, because there's a little bit of a masochistic side of me that likes the challenge of a machine that's trying to manipulate me, because it creates a defense for me at a deeper level of witness consciousness, I think, which I like the grist for that mill. So, which leads me into the point that I'm really making the video for today, which is the result of this sitting on my desk and me picking the shirt up multiple times in coaching conversations recently, when I saw that one of my clients had done something that they weren't really present at the time, they weren't really conscious, they weren't realizing, they weren't in with bringing conscious awareness from their highest self in that moment, and they took action in a way that wasn't to the desire of their deepest values. Maybe they missed something, maybe they acted in a way that they don't like or don't want them to be acting in, or themselves to be acting in, or maybe they didn't take action in a time where if they were more conscious, they would have. And when I saw them speaking about that, what I saw is a reflection on that time with frustration. Frustration towards the version of them a few days or weeks or even hours ago, right? And so, I thought every time this occurred, I picked up the shirt and I was like, what's standing out for me, what makes me think of this is when the shirt came, I was confused and I laughed. And I laughed at the guy, the version of me from a week or two ago, who bought that. And I think that the relationship to myself of laughing at earlier versions of myself on hours, minutes, days, weeks, whatever passed, being able to laugh at that guy instead of be pissed at him or annoyed by him or frustrated with him or even should him, oh, I should have done something differently, which is just a little bit of a judgment against a version of you from yesterday. Every day is a new version, let's say. So today's this version, 10 versions ago, 10 days ago, judging that person as he should have done something differently. Just that little, I call it micro judgment, that is so much more dangerous than an algorithm or anything out there that could be affecting us, because we create these entangled webs of self-judgment, of putting ourselves down, and we don't realize how much we do it. Try to notice how much you use the word should. Every should is a micro judgment. I should have done this something, I should have done that, or I should do that. You can't should without shitting. Should is judging. Should is saying something ought to be different than what it is, or I don't know what other word to use besides should, but should have been different than it is. Like what is wrong, and there's another thing that would have been right. Judgment. And that's these micro judgments, they build up. These little ones are one things that build up, and all these little ideas about how we could have been and should have been and how we should be that we're not being right now, they're like this burden that we carry, and they keep us down and they keep us unable to just be in action because we're feeling judged all the time. Not only are we feeling judged, we're afraid of being judged, not by others. We think we are, but really it's the judgment we fear that we'll make of ourselves subconsciously once somebody says something that we think isn't nice, that we think isn't right for us, and we'll take it on and get defensive about it, and it's all us. We're always judging ourselves. I should have done differently. Nah, I just bought the shirt. It's ridiculous and it's funny. And I wasn't present. But you know what? With the presence that I have and the neurology that I have, it was impossible for anything else to happen. It's perfect. I'm always acting at my highest capacity with the level of consciousness that I have and the predispositions that I have and the circumstances of the world that I'm meeting. And so in the sense of my psychology and how I'm showing up, I am always innocent, always completely innocent. That doesn't mean that I'm not responsible to the actions that come from this body and the words that come from this mouth. Of course I am, but I'm at the same time so innocent. And so if I can stay relaxed, if I can laugh at my actions, I'm so much more free now to create from spirit, to take action, because there's not only the lack of the subjugation of my spirit and my joy and my energy, there's also the lack of the fear of being judged in the future, because I know I have the habit of being okay with myself when I do something that wasn't to my highest value. So I don't fear fucking up because I'm not judging myself for fucking up, because there's no fuck up in my life. When there's no fuck up there, there's no fuck up out there, right? And so this is funny. That's going to be funny when I do that thing that it isn't with my deepest values, and it's all okay. It's all good. Just like it is for you. Today is the perfect day for you to create who you are. You are loved and you are powerful. And I am loving you simply for your being here. I'll talk to you soon.